What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe. And recently I did a review for the Marvel Select Netflix Daredevil figure, and I got a lot of questions about how he measured up to the Marvel Legends version of the character. And in that video I just did a side-by-side comparison real quick so you could see how they look next to each other, but I didn't really go in depth. So I wanted to make another video where I go a little bit more in depth so I could help people decide which one of these two figures they'd like to get. Obviously they're different scales. The Marvel Legends figure is a 6-inch scale figure and the Marvel Select is a 7-inch scale, so it's a little bit bigger, but he's not huge, you know, so you could probably fit him into your Marvel Legends display if you want. If you could fudge him in there, you know, some people could probably make it work with some clever posing and things like that. I definitely recognize these two lines as total separate lines, and I don't really mix them together. I have a Marvel Select shelf, and, you know, I've got my various Marvel Legends shelves, so I don't really mix them. But you know, in this case, I thought there was a valid reason to compare these two figures. So let's get right into it. So the first thing that stands out to me when I'm looking at these figures side to side is the color. You can see that the color on the Select version is darker. It's almost hard to see where the black is and where the red is. It almost doesn't even look red. It's like it's almost like a purplish, almost, but I mean it's more red than it is purple, but it's just really dark, and it's kind of hard to see in some areas. And then with the Marvel Legends one, the red is clearly defined. You could obviously see where the red and the black is. Looking at them next to each other, it looks like the Marvel Select one isn't even red at all. But yeah, it's more like I guess you could say like a burgundy or like a really deep red or something. But yeah, he almost doesn't look red. And the other thing that stands out to me right away is the size. The Marvel Legends one looks like it's a more muscular guy in the costume. Here with the Select version, he kind of looks a little bit skinnier, maybe like more like acrobatic, I guess you could say. And I guess that would be more accurate. But you know, when he has his suit on, it doesn't look like he's a skinny guy or anything like that. So you know, I wouldn't say that the Legends one is inaccurate or anything. But yeah, I think he's more acrobatic than he is muscular. So as far as the sculpt on these two figures, I like the sculpt on both of them, but I feel that the Marvel Select version is more accurate. The only thing that he lacks is the texture on the red parts of his costume here. You could see that the Marvel Legends one does have that, so that's very cool. I do wish that the Select version had that, but he doesn't. But I still feel that the Select version is superior in the sculpt department. I couldn't 100% like tell you whether the Marvel Legends version is accurate. I couldn't point out all the inaccuracies, but I do remember people saying that this was like the season 1 head with some of the season 2 costume details, and I think that the arms are like the style of arms that he had in season 1, and then I think the lower legs here are from season 1. You know, I'm not really 100% sure. I was checking out some of the clips from season 1, and it did look like he had this style of like arm, I guess you could say gauntlets or arm like guards or whatever. I couldn't really catch how the boots looked, but yeah, anyways, it kind of feels like the sculpt on him is a little like unfocused. It's kind of like all over the place on what they were trying to do, and they're just kind of pretty much just capturing the whole feel of how he looked in the Netflix TV show, and I think they did that. Like I said, it's not like I pulled him out of the package and was like, oh, it wasn't like that or it wasn't like this, but you know, I'm just not one of those kind of guys. I know some people could point that stuff out right away, but I couldn't. And yeah, like I said with the Select one, it just feels like it was accurate except for the texturing. So like I said, I think I'll give the sculpt in general to the Select one. And here's a quick look at both sculpts side by side. You can see they're both really good. But to me, the Legends one kind of comes off more plastic looking. But they both look really good. They both have a lot of details. So I don't really dislike either one of these. I just wasn't blown away by either one of these either. They're both just kind of cool. But I would say the sculpt on both of them is pretty good. In my opinion, the head sculpt on the Marvel Select one is a lot better. You can see that just in general, the face just looks more accurate, and they tried for like a beard effect. It could have been a little bit cleaner, but at least they tried. And then you have the red eyes that look a lot better, and you can see that it's like a bright, nice looking red that's really different from the rest of the color on the mask. And then on the side of the head, you don't have those weird ear things that he had. I think just in season 1 he had those ear things, but I think this is pretty good and pretty accurate. That was one of my gripes I had with the Marvel Legends one. I wasn't crazy about the head sculpt, and the paint was messy on the Marvel Legends one too. I had to kind of touch it up, but you could see there isn't really even an attempt at all, like at a 5 o'clock shadow. In person, it kind of looks like there is, but it just kind of looks like it's dirty or something. It's not very well done. And you could see his eyes aren't red. I mean, they're red, but they're not like a different color than the rest of the mask, so they just kind of blend in all together. And then yeah, you can see on the side there, he's got that weird like ear protecting thing. So yeah, just in general, I like the Marvel Select head sculpt a lot better. And it's not like the Legends one is horrible or anything, but I just think that the Select one is more accurate, looks more realistic. And yeah, that was my big problem with the Marvel Legends one. Actually, I wasn't a big fan of the head sculpt. So, and for the clubs here, they're both pretty cool. I'd probably say that the top one here is a little bit better, and that's the Marvel Select one. It kind of just looks less plasticky and less like a toy. The Marvel Legends one kind of just looks like a toy. They're kind of known for not really putting a lot of detail in their accessories. So yeah, I'd say that the Marvel Select one is a little bit better, and both of them come apart, you know. So they're both cool in that aspect. For accessories, the Marvel Select one wins by far because it comes with a pretty cool diorama, and the Marvel Legends one just comes with his billy clubs and then the head for Man-Thing, and that's about it. But yeah, see here that even the Marvel Legends one looks kind of cool in this diorama. So, and for articulation, obviously the Marvel Legends one is going to have better articulation because Diamond Select is only allowed so many points of articulation for whatever reason. But yeah, for the Marvel Select one, I do wish that it had ball jointed shoulders. They've had that on figures in the past, so I'm not sure why they couldn't have that here. And I do wish it had like an upper bicep swivel, and I do wish that it got a little bit more movement out of its ab crunch here. You can see in my review that the ab crunch doesn't move that much. For since then, I did a little mod on it, so I was able to get a little more articulation out of that. Naturally, it bends a lot less than that. Once I did this, I was a lot happier with it, so I'll show you what I did exactly. It was really simple, but yeah, if you watch my review, you could see that he doesn't really get too much movement. Just out of the box, he only got about maybe that much, I think. Somewhere around that, but you know, the little modification I was able to get a little bit more, so that was cool. With the Marvel Legends one, it has all this standard Marvel Legends articulation, so I think that's everything that this figure needs, so I'm pretty happy about that. And yeah, so you know, in the articulation department, obviously the Marvel Legends one will take that. And just to show you how I increased the amount of articulation on Daredevil's torso, all I did was pop off the upper torso, as you can see here, just popped it right off. Didn't even really need hot water or anything. It just comes off. You do got to pull on it pretty hard, but it does come off. Some hot water would probably make it a little bit easier, but yeah, so I popped that off and then I just trimmed away right here, and then it allows this here to come forward a lot more than it was before. So it's pretty easy. It looks kind of sloppy there, but once the upper torsos pop back on, you don't even notice any of it. So it's pretty cool. I don't know why Marvel Select just doesn't do this all the time. It seems like they'll have the torso articulation, but then it'll barely move, and you notice that with the Planet Hulk or Venom or even Spectacular Spider-Man. And I did the same kind of modification on Spectacular Spider-Man, and then I was really happy with it. So you know, something easy and simple that you could do if you'd like. Another pretty cool thing you could do is pop off the Marvel Select head and stick it onto the Marvel Legends body, and look at that. I think that looks awesome, and I didn't have to modify the head or anything. You can see it just pops on. If you push it all the way down though, it kind of looks funny. It kind of looks like he has no neck, but you could kind of like go halfway with it and it still stays on there, and it looks pretty cool. Look at that. That makes me like this Marvel Legends figure a lot more, actually. I think that looks dope. But yeah, check that out. Kind of work with it. You kind of see that it does, no matter what, it kind of looks like he has no neck. But yeah, look at that. I think that's great. And too bad it doesn't really work the opposite way. He looks kind of dumb like that. Another thing I wanted to do was swap the lower legs, but I think that the lower leg on the Select one is just a little too long, and it'll kind of look weird. But yeah, some kind of cool possibilities you got there, especially as far as Marvel Legends Daredevil's concerned. Check that out. Pretty cool. For scale, I think the Marvel Legends did its job a little bit better. You could see that he's about the same size as Captain America, and the Marvel Select one, you could see that he's quite a bit shorter than Captain America. I do wish that the Marvel Select one was a little bit taller. Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, he's a little bit shorter than he should be, but I mean, it's not horrible. He doesn't look like a midget next to him or anything like that. Maybe that is the actual size of the two actors or whatever, but in my opinion, I think he should have just been a little bit closer to Captain America's size. So in the end, it would be really hard to suggest which figure you should pick up because it really depends on what you're looking for. If you want a figure that you could pose and play with and take some cool pictures with, then you'd probably go with the Marvel Legends version. But if you want a figure that you might just leave on the shelf, pose once, and then just kind of throw on the diorama, put it up there, check it out every now and then you might want to go with the Marvel Select version, because I honestly think that he looks better, but he's really not as fun to play with as the Marvel Legends one. And I like to mess with my action figures and pose them and play with them and things like that, so that's important to me. But I also want them to look good, so I'm very happy to have both of these. Both of them have strengths and both of them have weaknesses. Neither one of them are perfect, but neither one of them sucks, so it is what it is. And honestly, I really think that the Mezco one is going to be better than both of these, so I really hope that comes out eventually and doesn't get delayed for 5 years. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that comes out and it's better than both of these. But yeah, like I said, neither one of these suck, and I'm happy to have both of them. So that's it. Thank you very much. If you liked the video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Please let me know which one of these two figures that you're most interested in, and if you have them both, which one you like better. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.